Sorry. With your little sachet as you walk down. That sachet was big, wasn't it? Like it wasn't
Oh
like
yeah,
a. I was like, okay, we get it, we get it. You know, you're a Kelpian. You
full
got
body. Yeah, yeah.
what? So, like, from an evolutionary standpoint, what does that do as far as like why? Because we know when he runs, he doesn't run like that. He doesn't like that, like side to side. He's
Runs like
weird.
this.
I know he's a very forward running guy, but otherwise he's just like he's got when he's walking, it's this little sachet. It's kind of strange.
RuPaul-esque sachet.
It's fabulous. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know,
I mean, I love it.
I mean, it's really. But I just don't know, like from a biological standpoint, what it accomplishes. Or I mean, like honestly, like if he's walking down the corridors, is he like hitting people as he goes? He's like, "Oh, sorry, Lieutenant. Sorry, Ensign. Oh, sorry, Commander." And I mean, like it's gonna be kind of a thing where it's like, "Oh, Jesus, here comes Saru. I'll talk to you later. He's coming my way. All right." He's just like clearing the deck. Oh my gosh. Well, hello everyone. Hello. You've stumbled upon our little pre-conversation there.
You missed the best part. Half an hour of me trying to get my computer to work.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We should start a Patreon just to fund Kim's computer. She has a 1943 computer. It's a Univac.
Fills the entire room.
She uses punch cards for all her replies. These are all synthesized with punch cards. It's coal powered. Oh my gosh. But I am Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
Otherwise known as
the Doctor.
We haven't done this for a while. We have not. I don't know the last time we've had a little grouping here.
A two-hander, as Matt loves to say.
It's a two-hander.
It's really cheap to produce. It's a two-hander.
But even just like us like getting together and like talking about stuff, I feel like I've had a couple of my own and with Kiernan and
we were in the business center.
Right? Yeah, you're right. The business center, like crammed into a weird business center, talking about stuff. This is us with like time to burn, although not as much now because we're.
I'm wide awake.
I know you are. I know we're spinning into your cycle now. It's
yes.
Kim is also. She will never sleep. She is a daybreaker. It's a kind of a deep vampire reference. But anyways, we are here to talk about season 2 of Discovery. The first episode came out, and we just watched it. Kim just watched it. I watched it a couple days ago, and I was so bummed about this coming back. I was like, oh, man, this thing's coming back. I was in a bad found out that I'm probably like this is an ongoing thing, but the Star Trek Lower Decks thing, I was up for a writing position, and it looks like they're gonna pass over me.
Fools.
Yes, very much fools. Well, Mike McMahon's a good guy. I don't blame him for. Well, I do blame him. He's made a foolish mistake. You're a fool and you know it, Jim. That's from The Cage, or that's from Where No Man's Gone Before. But so I was bummed out that day. I got that information, and then I was like, oh, I should just watch this. I had a big pitch the next day, and I watched it. I was like, I'll just watch it, and I liked it. I
have to insert some music here when you
a little Trek sting.
Yes.
Bum ba dun 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 dun. Jim, what do you mean you like it? I like it. I like it, Bones. You will too. This side of paradise. The spores have gotten to me, Doctor. I'm so happy finally.
I think that might be a factor. The air's too hot and thin. You're not thinking clearly.
No, I mean, maybe like I was ready to hate watch it. I was just like, I had this big pitch the next day for DreamWorks Animation. See, you know what? I don't have to do. I'm doing big things. I'm a big time guy.
You can do both. You can pitch and hate watch or enjoy watch.
This is true. Well, I as it turned out, when I went in there, I probably should have spent an extra hour on Thursday night actually prepping, but that's all right. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all still good. But I went and I started watching it, and Pike shows up, and man, it was like a different show. I mean, Kim, what were your thoughts? I mean, you just got done watching it, so what do you think? Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, I surprisingly liked so much of it. I was only bothered every now and then. It was mostly trivial things, but I don't know. Do you feel like they kind of heard the feedback from the fans from season 1?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Anson Mount's role was to roll in and say, hey, everybody, I'm the new captain, and everything you saw last year is not going to happen. I mean, everything he said was coded to the audience. He's like, I know we're doing a hard left turn here. Might ruffle some feathers, but we're going to have some fun.
Yes.
Well, by the way, make sure you check out episode 5. It's going to be great, kids. Bye-bye.
What did he say? It's a
to read everyone's name off who tweets about this show.
Well, but like we had them read off their names, roll call. I'm like, roll call?
I know. Roll call.
I appreciated it. It was so odd.
The funny thing is, and maybe we can get to it right now, but that was my favorite part of the entire episode.
That roll call part, or when he is like has his service record behind him or his personal.
No. That was a little kind of like, oh, I got an F in astrobiology or astronomy, and it's like, okay, all right, that's fine. No, it was the roll call. It was the weirdest thing. I know. Maybe you don't like it, but I liked it. Here's why I liked it, and this maybe encapsulates the whole thing. Is that so? He comes in, he says, okay, I need to know everyone's names. Drop the rank, it's fine. And then we go on, we learn everyone's name on the bridge after 15 episodes.
You've heard them, but it wasn't made a big deal in the past.
Well, no, but shouldn't it have been? I mean, isn't this the crew? Yeah. Like, the people on the bridge in every single other series they're really important because they've earned that position on the bridge. And instead, we're in mycelial labs and, screwing around with Michael Burnham in a holding cell. I mean, all this weird nonsense. And I don't know who, iPod Girl is. I don't know what her name is.
Oh, I forgot it already. But they keep playing that goofy sound effect when they show her that. Lieutenant so-and-so. You notice that?
No, I didn't. But I like that that's...
You gotta watch it. It's so weird.
It's
like, is she making that sound, or is it just like a comedic sound effect whenever she comes on screen?
She looks like the stick shift in my Kia Soul. I'll be honest with you. I will post that. I was looking at today. I'm like, oh my god, she has a kind of like the racing stripe head kind of thing in my stick shift, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to post that. That's so crazy.
Yeah, you have to.
But I mean, it's nice that finally someone's after 15 episodes, we're finally acknowledging these people on the bridge have value. So he goes around and says, okay, everyone tell us your names. Okay, I'm Michael Burnham. I'm the guy who's going to die. I'm girl with crazy eye. I'm, other girl. I'm robot.
Mike Stickshift.
I'm Mike Stickshift. I'm a communications guy who, suddenly has a line. And then he's like, okay. And then this is the best part about it. So he goes off. He says, okay, you do this, you do that, you do this. He remembers all their names.
Yes.
He remembers them like in an instant, which instantly engenders confidence in you, right? If someone instantly knows your name and calls you by your name, you're like, oh, that's really great. He gives them all specific things to do.
That does remind me. I do appreciate that.
That.
Like, we have board members at the theater where I work, and the few who remember my name, I appreciate it.
Yes, it is such a good thing when someone...
Next time you ask me for a favor, I'll remember that. And
someone remembers your name.
Try and make you happy.
I mean, isn't it like Giorgio and Lorca? They're like helmsmen, tactical officer. I mean, maybe they said their names a couple of times, but we certainly didn't remember it. He stops everything right in the beginning, Actually, he'd been on like the bridge for like 3 or 4 hours because we had that weird, Sarek and Burnham conversation, and then we come back. He says, "Okay, after 4 hours, let me learn your names." But that's okay because we cut through that. So he gets all their names, and he even tags a little like "You fly good," and then the best thing is that as a group, they all say, "Aye, aye, aye, Captain," or "Aye, sir." I can't remember which one, but like in unison. Finally, we have a team. Oh my God. What a novel concept that if we get a captain who isn't going to be eaten by Z or who isn't like terrified to be in the captain's seat, that it works. How amazing. It's not Mirror Universe asshole pretending to be the right person.
Yeah, I also feel like they didn't try to cram in 500 beloved Star Trek elements into this first episode. It's like, relax. Like they just teased us with the Enterprise. Like you see it, we don't go aboard. We don't see anything. Just there it is, and it exists in this world now.
Well, they finally figured out. Okay, you know what? People who watch this show tend to like Star Trek. A lot of our in-house like deep dive on the stats seem to show they like Star Trek. What if we gave them Star Trek? What if, like this is crazy, but what if we actually did Star Trek? Now, hear me out. Now, I've been doing some research, and one of the ships in Star Trek is called the Enterprise. Not the rental car company, but a spaceship called Enterprise, all right? What if we showed that? And what if we put some of the, like, Pike and Spock and Number One? We could put them all in there, guys. It's all there.
They also didn't hit us with Spock in episode 1, too.
Well, and that was smart too, because originally Alex Kurtzman was like, "You're never going to see Spock except for in season 2, and then you're going to see him the whole time because the whole season's just going to be called Spock." It's discovering Spock.
Well, this episode is called Brother.
Well, I know this is kind of like the guest that's coming to dinner that we're all waiting for. We all know it's about Spock, but to me, it was really about Pike showing up and just cleaning house and just putting down, saying, it reminds me a little bit of we've talked this before, like the West Wing, where you have Martin Sheen, he's the dad. You need a dad to be like, okay, you kids run off and do your things. I'm the dad. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be checking stuff out every once in a while, go on missions, but you guys do your thing. Like Martin Sheen in the West Wing. And then if there's any big problems, I'll come and clean them up. That's what we needed. We didn't need a dysfunctional dad who's going to hit us every time we ask him a question. Daddy, please.
Wait, we still talking about the show?
I don't know what we're talking about. I just want to talk to my dad.
Why did you love me?
He just set me down from the TV and had me watch Star Trek. Then he went away. He wouldn't come back for days.
Star Trek is my daddy. Wait a minute. We figured it out. 110 episodes.
So in general, I really enjoyed this course correction. It was, as they said, a hard left.
Yeah.
But it worked. It was everything we've been clamoring for. You and I have been talking about for 15 episodes. And Jason, who couldn't be here tonight, engineer Jason, due to technical difficulties.
His pod was hit by an asteroid.
Was hit by a mycelial, I don't know.
Whoops.
Oh, jeez. All right. Hey, you know what? You can watch this on YouTube if you want.
It's really, really not worth it.
No, it's fabulous. This is going to be the thing. You can see my crazy PS4 headset I've got on here. I look like I'm
yeah, I noticed like you're
air traffic controller here or something on strike.
Taking orders for Chantix. What are you doing? If you call now.
No, Ray Liotta's not here, but I can take your call. Yes, it does work. Yeah, if you want to check all the fun stuff we talk about in post, check out our Facebook page. I just want to talk about Star Trek Facebook page. Go to our iTunes page and give us a like. Now, for some reason, we're not listed whenever you search Star Trek on iTunes.
Is that a recent development? Did you?
Yes, like happened like
what
January
changed?
1st. It happened before too. It just like drops off, and it also dropped off on Spotify too. I was informed by someone. and I'm trying to talk to what is it? What are they called? Audio? No, Starburns Audio. Starburns Audio, our podcast network, and they're like, we'll look into it. Like, well, yeah. When someone types in Star Trek, this should pop up. I mean, like that just seemed like when you go to podcast, you type the word Star Trek, like the Jenna and Julian podcast, the Meaningless Activity podcast shows up, the John Bachelor show. Like none of these have the word Star Trek in them. Mine has Star Trek in it. So sorry, I'm not that upset. We have our loyal fans, and if you don't mind, share it with a friend. That's fine. Anyway, let's get back to this. Should we go through it like?
Sure.
Or did you write stuff down or no?
I did. So I always lose track.
Yes, this is why we've got Kim here.
It's also why it takes me 2 hours to watch an episode.
I know you watch it hard, and I just kind of watch it once through. Although I watched this a couple of times, Kim. I actually watched this a few times.
Oh wow, you did like it.
Well, I just watched that scene over and over again, that roll call scene, because like this is the moment that I feel like it's finally figured out what Star Trek is. So there's other moments too. All right, so
we pick up right at the end of season 1, where they were on their way to Vulcan to get their new captain. And Sarek has joined them, but en route to Vulcan, they get a signal from the Enterprise. What? So they drop out of warp. And we have all these mix of flashbacks to Michael as a child when she first meets Spock in his very spacious room that my entire apartment would fit in. They look like they live
room in that room.
A museum, modern art museum, or an office building.
He's on display. He's got one bookshelf to the side, and it's filled with all sorts of weird like objects. It's like I don't know. I will put this circle here. Okay. And then there's not even a bed. It's just like
That's true.
It's just like a little workbench and all right. So we have all these different flashbacks of Michael Burnham thinking about Spock.
Their first meeting with Spock, where before he says a word, from his little drawing pad, that he can pull images off and throw them in the air. He creates this serpent that comes at her.
I know. It's like in some ways they're almost presenting him as like on the spectrum a little bit. It's kind of weird. He doesn't say anything. He like throws this weird snake temper tantrum and then he just shuts the door on her. Like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's very logical. You'll find out.
Well, is this the first we've heard that they don't have a good relationship?
I think so.
What has she said about him in the season 1? Just that he was my brother.
Very little, very little. They concentrated on Sarek and a little bit on Amanda, but I mean, they were dedicated so much to not making this about the Enterprise and Spock and Kirk and all those people, but that changed. So suddenly this first episode is all about Spock. It's like
really, they had no intention of ever mentioning him in this whole series.
That's what they said. That's Alex Kurtzman said. We will never talk about Spock. We'll never talk about any of them. Because Kirk right now is going up through the Academy, and so is a lot of the other people. But Spock, was on the Enterprise around this time. He's so it made sense that there's a potential to run into him, especially when you put a character who just beyond comprehension is like his stepsister, or his just adoptive sister. Like, why would you do that and then say, we're never going to talk about him, don't worry about it, Oh, okay, that sounds good.
We've got a lot of other cool stuff to show you, like these crazy Klingons that look nothing like you'd expect.
Yeah.
We're going to hit the mirror universe, everything.
All the stuff you didn't really want to see, you're going to see, all right? It's all going to be 25% different contractually.
That's right.
Bad Robot has to make things. It's conjecture that Bad Robot has to make things 25% different from the original series, and it kind of looks like that. The Enterprise is bigger and has slightly weird stuff going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he get the flashbacks, and then
they are trying to find out what's going on with the Enterprise. They can't communicate, but there are 203 people aboard alive. So then Tilly, with her first comedy moment of the season, have you tried Morse code? So they do get in touch. Go comms. I'm like, oh, shut up. Don't start.
So here's the thing, and improvising additional comedy beats in a scene is always tricky. Same thing happened in the Orville too tonight when I was watching it. It seems funny maybe in the room, and when you're kind of like, it was very static and loud, and you become like Woody Allen a little bit. You just kind of keep on adding on, and because everyone, it just seemed like, and I didn't know, like, okay, got it, good comedy established, comedy frequency open, good.
Yeah, so I say that's going to continue.
It does in this episode,
and probably for the whole series. But they make contact with Pike, and he's on his way over with a science officer and an engineer.
Yeah, the beam over with the weird woman with braces, like pre-bait braces, and
but they don't mention
what were you gonna say?
Which science officer, so we're all expecting, here's Spock's big introduction.
Oh, right, yeah. It's the kind of the tease that Spock's going to be here, and have you talked to Spock for a while? I haven't. Have you? No. Oh boy, this is going to be awkward, isn't it?
I had not expected to see him again. I was dictating notes while I was writing it. That's what
okay.
Notes say. I had not expected to see his bike again. Again, I had to say like. I don't know. But
I had not expected to see his bike again. The bike beams over. Excellent.
But we have our new opening credits. It has some added things like that Red Angel image is in there now. And Section 31 image is in there now. And I noticed they have 15 executive producers. I went back and watched it. I'm like, 15? I know there's always tons of regular producers, but executive? Is that unusual?
It is. I mean, there's always been a lot of executive producers in the show. The credits are basically all executive producers. They all either get like single card, which means like just their name on the screen, or like double card or whatever it is. And yes, there are so many executive producers. Oh, it's just.
And Gretchen Berg was one of them, right? Wasn't she one of the ones who was fired that claimed that they were abusive and all that?
Well,
her and one other person.
Yeah, because after Fuller left, they became showrunners, I believe, and then they got fired 2 episodes into the season because because of that, and also because they ran way over budget.
I forgot that it was 2 episodes in.
Yeah, like basically like crippling the rest of the season, like the Enterprise like sitting there inert kind of budget problems.
So these first 2 episodes are super expensive.
Well, my God, the amount of effects
asteroid field and all that.
Asteroid field, and they're wearing those suits with the little visors, which are CG like the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean. Everything, like the first 15 minutes was just nonstop CG. It just seemed like, and it was fabulous. It felt like a feature. I'm like, they are spending so much money here, It was great. I loved the look and the action, and I was like, you guys are getting fired for this. Couldn't you just beam over? No. We got to take these crazy pods. We got to do a pod racing homage.
That's for you, Jason.
I know. They needed to do the pod racing so they could kill the irritating nondescript white guy there.
Not the one dressed in red, which I think everyone was expecting.
Well, I could tell that. I mean, because it's just like he was just so asking for it. Like it was just comically bad. He's like, "Let me tell you something, Michael Burnham."
Like, did you see the asteroid coming in the background?
That was kind of, I mean, that was okay. Just seeing that from the side, like I knew, like from the start, like, oh, he's not lasting. I'm the science officer. Don't worry. After Spock, I'm number 2 and you're number 5. So you're never going to be science officer. You might as well get off the bridge because I got this. I have no funny features about my face. I have no robot face stuff going on. I'm going to last for a long time. But nope, he didn't. He died. Do we skip over some stuff or not really?
Yeah, a little. Well, when Pike appeared, I knew that your
Oh,
heart
yeah.
leaped with joy when you saw his gold command uniform.
I did 25% different. Again,
Yes.
25% different.
Very snug.
Very yellow.
Yes.
As yellow as you can get, right? I mean, this is like the sun, like a blazing sun yellow. But I kind of liked it. I mean, it's a bold color, right? I mean, the Discovery outfits, they're so muted. They're blue with little, like red or gold or bluish piping. Like, oh, we're kind of Star Trek, but we don't want to admit it. This is like, get out of the way, bright yellow.
I'm an engineer in
blind
red. I'm science in blue. So she mentions.
I love that scene. Also, where
What? I cut out.
no, you go ahead. Say something.
Oh,
Say something.
So the engineer woman looked like Senator Kamala Harris. She's walking and she's looking around like, oh, this is where the Federation spends their money.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Well,
that's the flagship. Is the Enterprise still the flagship of the Federation? Or
that
is
was
that
kind of like a weird
later
statement
on?
too. I know. Yeah, she was kind of, do not covet thy neighbor's starship or something like that. Pike says. I want to go back to where I like when he just like beams over and he says, hey, from Montana,
Oh, yes.
we just got to rip off the Band-Aid here, and I'm taking over, and it's just like he just announces his presence so forcefully, and just like everybody, hey, first season, get out of the way, man. I'm going to the bridge. I'm going to sit in that chair, and I'm going to take us away from that first season. Like, warp factor 1 billion. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like that. Like, well, you can't do that according to whatever section blah blah of the code blah blah.
Yeah. There's only
nice
3
introduction.
instances when that can happen. This, and this. Which is it? All of them. 2 of 3 of them. Is that which one's the most dramatic? All of them. 3. None of them.
Why is this Vulcan bike here?
Ding ding.
With a bell. All the bells from his little frame.
That's right. Yeah. She had to jingle those bells too. Those little,
Make everyone happy. Yes.
I know. All right, so they get to the bridge, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah. Then we talked about the whole thing, which I guess is going to drive this whole season. About there's 7 red bursts that have simultaneously appeared across 30,000 light years and have disappeared.
Just as MacGuffin-y as you can get. Just like, hey, everybody.
7 MacGuffins.
There are 7 MacGuffins. There are 7 red crystals that we must get to save Princess Zelda. It's very important. And then you level up. Now, it is the most, I mean, we've known this for a long time. They were going to do this, but it's the most rudimentary thing. It's like, okay, this is our quest, guys. We've got 7 things we've got to find and go.
And that's what knocked out the Enterprise. They tried to scan one of them, but made all their systems go haywire. So that's why they're in space dock being repaired. And why it's so urgent that they have to put Pike on Discovery.
It's, I was thinking about it. It's interesting because almost never is a ship knocked out to where it has to go back to space dock. It has to be towed. I mean, it's always like, oh, it's going to take us 3 days to get everything back online. 10 hours. Oh, you've got those parts? You have like a warp coil? I mean, it's just like they're told.
They never did that on the original series, did they? Well, they did have to like go in for repairs or something like that. Like that's when shore leave happened, I think. The ship was having some maintenance.
No, shore leave, they'd just been out for a long time. They were just like super tired. Yeah, they needed to kind of relax, so they did that. Maybe there's another one they had to kind of go back, but I mean, in Next Generation, after the Borg Best of Both Worlds, they did go into kind of like space dock and had the next episode. I think it's Family, where they're all on Earth, kind of screwing around, which was kind of nice. I mean, but it's so rare. There's always, I mean, I tell you what, it's like your car, like. Yeah, the engine was on fire and 3 tires blew out. Well, how long to get it fixed? Well, I'll say about 3 hours. You don't have any materials. Yeah, give me 4 then. What are you going to do? How are you going to like make a tire? I don't understand
Space,
this.
man.
It's space.
Make a tire.
Come on, people, come on. Coolant leak.
The only time it's worth having a video.
Yeah, see, this is
Barely. So we have our elevator shtick. That was our teaser from last season.
Ugh, I was like dreading that. Like I was looking away because of the whole sneeze nonsense, and they weirdly cut it in 2 as well, as opposed to I think in the actual trailer they like made it kind of one continuous thing where he sneezed on an old goofball science officer who's gonna die anyways.
Nobody says a word. That guy kind of looked like It's a Trap guy. Poor Jason.
Admiral Akbar, by the way.
Yes. But we have the whole bridge stick with Tilly being all giggly with Pike and his pinky.
You gotta get your DNA certification. Put your pinky. I can't believe I said pinky, Captain. Blah blah blah. Who is this? How did she survive the Klingon War? Dear God.
That's when we see Pike's full record. See, he has a bit of a sense of humor. I like when he goes, "Okay, once it's up there, everybody grab a seat. Go ahead and read. Nobody sits down." Slow pan. Everyone's standing.
Now the view screens are so like they're so kind of anticipatory that like he just kind of like points like at his grades and like one of them zooms in. It's
There's my F. Boink.
Yeah.
F.
Yep, there's my F. Like no, I didn't know. I actually wanted to hide that. Please, sentient screen, like get rid of that. Like here, like. I mean, at this point in time, second season, I'm all in on this not being in any way like our universe, 1960s, the original series.
Are you okay with it now?
Well, but I just don't even think it. I mean, it's so. There's no way it's ever going to link up. There's no way we're ever going to get like because even when they showed the Enterprise, when he went to Spock, they went to Spock's quarters. I mean, he's got the little touch screen thing, the little iPad touch screen on his door now. It's. They've just given up. They're like, no, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
We can't go back now.
We can't go back. And if you still like the original series, you'll be dead soon enough anyways, and we'll win. So, I mean, it really is. I mean, we've moved past the point. Unless it's like a bunch of senators who are like, I like Star Trek, and we're going to shut down CBS. Like, no. I mean, there's nothing that can stop them.
A bunch of senators. From War Games, apparently. All bombastic.
You're going to turn off Whopper right now.
I can't believe you remember that fast.
Oh yeah. Mr. President, we may have to go back down to DEFCON 1. Like, that guy's great, man. Are you kidding? He's
Barry
like
Corbin?
quintessential. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it'd make a difference.
Well, see, you know it too. Don't chide me. You're digging out quotes as well. I don't.
Whopper.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, like, that was the best thing, watching this crazy computer and all the incredible special effects of 1983 or something like that, where those vector graphic, simulations.
Yes.
The different
global thermonuclear war.
And all the different, like the Afghanistan, scenario,
Yes.
the Cuban Missile thing, the Nicaragua junta gambit. Like, I'm like, oh wow, what's that one like? How does that get us to war?
Let's try that one.
Not too bad, not total annihilation, 70%.
Anyway,
I
am not him. I am not Lorca. We're all, thank God.
Yeah. It's again talking straight to the audience. Guess what? I'm not him. I'm not. And you know what? Here's the thing: is that I think we all would have been okay if Lorca was just Lorca. If it was just like, hey, I'm a hard ass. I'm like a Captain Jellicoe type. You're gonna toe the line with me. Otherwise, there's gonna be hell to pay. I think we're all behind that. And then it's like, haha, I'm actually Mirror Universe. Haha, and here's Giorgio, and
I like fortune cookies. Aha!
I know.
Oh God. energy signals, a greeting or a declaration of malice. So they're on their way to investigate
Yes.
in space.
And
And my dictated notes say we see the Enterprise in space dog as Discovery pulls away.
Space Dog was riding a bike.
So en route, we have time for a couple catching up with people's characters. So
Yes.
Stamets looking like it had an old video message. First, I thought he was like communicating with him real time with Hugh.
Like in the Mycelial Network Discovery ghost ship.
Yeah, I was like, is this happening now? But I think it must have been like an old message he left for him, right?
I think it was an old message, but I thought the same thing too, because why not, right? Because anything can happen in the Mycelial Network.
Talking about their love of opera.
Yeah, it was such a weird like reset. Like, I love everything he did. They plunge a dagger into their heart after the high E.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay. All right, okay, guys, all right. Okay, writer's room, dial it back a bit. We got it.
Take that post-it off the wall.
We're in outer space. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got to get rid of this
Castilian opera.
Oh boy. Somebody watching this episode wrote that as like, yes, all right, that is now in and it is canon, everybody.
But Tilly is in charge of reallocating the ship's resources, so she's kind of has an opportunity to talk to all these different people, have little scenes with everyone.
She's like Julie on the Love Boat. She's kind of like,
cruise director.
She's like the cruise director. She's like, okay, you got to do this now. I'm going to move all your mycelial network because that didn't work out last season. So we're just going to like tuck it away someplace we never have to talk about again.
Well, we also learned that the spore drive is inactive for the moment.
Yeah.
So we've put that gigantic storyline on the back burner.
This is the most important thing ever is now going to be shelved. Although in the this season on, they do use it at least once.
Yeah.
Which upset me. Like this season on was the kind of the caveat which made me go, uh-oh, everything there I don't like.
Really? Uh-oh.
Well, we had Klingons, we had Giorgio, we had Mycelial Network. I'm like, nope. Sorry. None of those things are working for me.
But Pike's involved in all of that. You might like that.
Yeah, the exchange between Burnham and Giorgio, are you happy with that? Better go back to your snake pit. Yes. Oh, my.
But Stamets drops the bomb that the Vulcans have asked him to come teach for them, so he'll be leaving, but at the end of this mission. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry, but that made me very happy. I'm like, yes, get rid of it.
I know. I think we're done with mushrooms for the franchise. I think we don't ever have to go to the mycelial.
Tired of his annoying character too.
I almost wonder if Anthony Rapp is like, I've had my run. I'm ready to leave. It's fine. It's kind of like we had with who's that character, Lara or something on Orville, who just left. Who's like,
yeah.
Really? Why are you leaving? What's going on? And I guess she's like romantically involved with Seth MacFarlane. So I'm like,
oh really?
Is she pregnant? What is going on?
I was wondering if they're trying to do some sort of like, hey, we're losing a major character just like Next Generation did.
It could be, although like the
bring her back later, for some crazy dramatic bad guy role or something.
Maybe. I mean, like I heard that she might be like in and out of the season, but certainly the goodbye was like 8 minutes long, and everyone gets a hug, and like she has not earned this. I'm sorry, but I mean, like just like hug the Norm Macdonald green jelly thing as much. I mean, it's... all right, we'll get back to that.
Hugh is everywhere I look, so he's on his way out. So already losing him. Also en route, Burnham is reading Alice in Wonderland, and we have a scene with Sarek talking about Spock again, dangling the Spock storyline for us.
The Spock carrot in front of us.
The Spock-shaped carrot. So she's asking him, what did you want him to learn from me? And he says he wanted Spock to learn empathy from her. I'm like,
what?
That's an odd thing for Sarek to say. Why?
So human. I mean, like, Like I
Yeah.
like I like this guy, this actor. He's a good actor, but Mark Leonard played Sarek so stoically and so begrudgingly of any sort of emotions. And this guy, like, he's actually cracking a little smile now and then. He's kind of like,
Hmm.
okay, here comes Spock. Like, uh, are you smiling? No, 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 I'm not. I'm not smiling. He needs to learn empathy. Well, what about from his mother? Oh, yeah. What about from his mother? Well,
She admired him or something. Something
She,
odd.
he revered her. I don't remember
Yeah.
him revering her. I mean, in the original series, he's like, "Hey, mom, what's up?" There
Yeah.
wasn't like like a bow to her. So a
Didn't
little bit
quite
of
get that.
retroactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to me it was just like they were trying to justify a reason for this new storyline of why is Spock important to Michael Burnham and what was the rift that is suddenly here, which we didn't know about until just now. But
Yeah,
anyway,
and
so
Sarek says that obviously something happened that you're not telling me, but I'm here for you in my very emotional, loving father way. What?
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Maybe he's got a little
Not
touch of
okay.
that syndrome he had.
Oh,
Remember Sarek
you're
towards the end of his
erotic.
life, Ironic syndrome, where he's getting angry at everyone and crying, and I loved you. And then when Picard played, whoa, Jesus! I have not seen that scene in high definition, but I'm kind of a little scared. I'm a little bit scared.
Gonna watch it on Giant, Jason's Giant TV.
Yes, watch the
Giants Jason TV.
Giants, Jason. What was I watching? It was in the Orville. Remember the Orville one with Alara and Robert Picardo?
Hmm.
And like he's getting all
Oh
getting all
yeah.
misty eyed. He's got like
Yeah.
this little bit of snot in his nose.
Oh,
Like it's like
I didn't see that.
like in our big like 4K TV now, we're all looking, and it's not like green snot. It's just like the fluid. It's like tear fluid, but it's in his nostril, and it's just like it's shimmering in there. Like, oh God, that's all I'm seeing. Like with your weird burnt hand, which no one is attending to. And
Yeah.
now you got just a tiny little glimmer of snot in your nose, and then like you saw like a cutaway and it comes back to him and it's gone. Obviously, it was like okay, cut, makeup, last looks. It's okay. Once you blow your nose there, okay. But yeah, that just that.
Oh.
Ugh. All right.
But the Discovery arrives to begin right in the middle of a giant mess of asteroids. Because apparently that energy source said that, yes, this is where I am. And you're like, what's his name? Pike's like, where's my red thing?
Pretty good line too. Where's my red thing? Just he's just all business, which is just kind of funny. He's just like he like the thing I like is that he's a guy from Montana, which is canon. I mean, oh good, we're gonna do canon on this. But yeah, he is, just like in the original, he's from Montana. He's just
Oh, he
kind
said
of a bus.
Mojave, right? When he first
Oh, did you say
came
Mojave?
to.
Maybe he's from
remember
Mojave.
he-
Maybe I got that wrong. For some reason, I thought he was from Montana. But anyways, he's a straight talker. He's kind of like a cowboy, rides horses,
Hmm.
And Anson Mount actually just got done doing Hell on Wheels,
Oh,
like 4 or 5 seasons with Colmini. With Colmini, you're
excellent.
gonna do that Star Trek show, are you? Let me give you a piece of advice. Don't listen to anything they tell you.
What?
Everything didn't make any sense to me. I just walked around and said words, and then I walked off stage.
Did he say that?
No, that's my Colmini impersonation, where
Oh,
like I just have this belief that Colmini had no idea what was going on through like 7 seasons of Next Generation and 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine. They kept telling me I was on space. I wasn't on space.
on space.
I would get done and I would get in my car and I would drive home. That wasn't space. Don't let them tell you anything different. All right, that's my Colmini.
Yeah. Had some canned
Yeah.
applause right here.
Yeah. Well, I kind of lost the
Podcast
accent
needs
towards the
more
end.
Wacky sound effects.
What? Who? I need more wacky sound effect. Yeah, boring. Or what is that woman? That weird stick shift head.
I bet it annoys the actor. Like, why do they do that every time I come on screen?
She's like, "Oh, my scene's coming up. Wait, what the hell? Who put that in there?
Play that back.
And she doesn't have enough clout yet, like on the show, to be like, "Hey, so can't help but notice that every time you guys show like a shot of me, there's a sound. Is that sound effect an accident? I mean, it's okay if it is, but I just didn't know if you noticed that. Oh, it's not. Okay, all right. It's really funny, like rule of three comedy funny, right? Like after the third time, we don't do it anymore, right? That's my Tilly now.
Every time.
No, yeah, every time. No, I think we're probably gonna boost the sound on you because we think it's hilarious. Oh, okay. Because I'm in that makeup chair for like 9 hours, and it's putting a funny sounder, and it kind of takes all the joy out of my life.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. All right, let's recast her.
Now the crew is starting, like the film crew is starting to make that noise when I know you guys think it's funny.
I get it, guys. I'm in on the joke too. But my parents watch this. It's okay. We can just not do it. Okay. I heard that. Funny. Yeah, I wonder if I could go over to Orville. I just like in makeup to show up on set, and they'd be okay with that.
But in that scene when they arrive at the asteroid field, I'm pretty sure they do that for her. So go back and watch it.
I will.
But it's in this scene that we find out that using the cameras that go click, click, really loud, and have a flash apparently that they use for hull maintenance. They see that there's the USS Hiawatha crashed on this asteroid.
Well, they have the really cool cameras, but then they ask Saru just to use his eyes.
Oh yes, that's right. Can you read that?
We've got these super cool cameras. Oh, Saru, can you just look out the window? Do you mind looking out the window? You got it, man. Zoop. Maybe that's his eyes that we're hearing. Zoop. It's 857 Hiawatha. Okay, great. No other way we could find that out.
I didn't quite get what happened here. There's like a huge energy pulse that knocks the Discovery around, and like, oh, now it has changed direction. It's going to collide with a pulsar, this huge asteroid.
There was a lot of just science fiction mumbo jumbo there.
Very quick.
So when we move forward, it pushes back. And there's a ship that's buried inside of this. And this is a bunch of rocks. And the red thing isn't there. And it's like, what the hell's going on here, you guys? Are you just like, okay, we've got all these stick-it notes here on the wall. Let's just put them all in, all right? These are all season 1 ideas.
Is it Lieutenant Detmer? Is she the navigator with the crazy eye?
I think so.
She says something like, it's like a magnet being pushed apart. I'm like, wait, what? The ship and something else? I didn't know what she's talking about.
Like when they move towards it, like more rocks come at them or something. The rules for it. So the rules are so wonky. It's just to get them in the pod racing. Like, okay, we can't
to give
beam.
them this. Now they have this time constraint.
Yes,
5 hours.
Because there's a pulsar too that's eating it. Like there's everything that's going on except the thing they want.
Mm-hmm. But did you like the moment where Pike is like chewing everybody out? If there's somebody down there, we're not going to leave them behind.
Oh, I don't remember that. Is it?
Where Michael says nobody on this bridge would abandon a Starfleet brother or sister, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I like it. Yeah. Okay, it was good. I have no opinion either way on it. I don't remember. All right, move on.
Oh, Tilly asks Michael, bring back a sample, please. This mycelial spike business. I'm not done with that story yet.
Wait, is this a mushroom or is it a rock? I don't understand.
Just grab one.
When is a mushroom a rock? When it's a plot device to keep Anthony Rapp on for the rest of the season. Oh, okay, good.
We get into the 4 crazy pods.
Yes.
Threat ganglia joke. Really? Are you surprised?
I know.
That was kind of funny.
They're kind of aping a little bit of the Avengers. There's a couple different ways you can go. You can go where everything is the most serious thing, kind of like the original series did, where everything's very, very serious, and Next Generation too, but things are very, very serious. And then sometimes there's ridiculous situation where there's comedy, where it's like it's just so ridiculous it's funny. And then there's the Avengers things where things are really, really serious, but people still joke, as they do in real life. And they've kind of adopted that finally. It's like because everyone enjoys it. Let's have fun. Kind of want to have fun in Star Trek. I don't know if that's a thing, but we should do that.
Well, Pike told you to. Let's have fun.
I told him many times. But I didn't tell them to build like these weird like pod racer things that take up so much space in the Discovery like tube. It's like a weird dark ride thing where the pods come out of different like launch tubes, and then all kind of like they can all go through like the Three Stooges trying to go through the door at the same time if you don't like sync it up.
What do the Three Stooges always say? Oh, I'll think of it later. Whenever they go through a door at the same time, he always says, "Oh, damn it, I forgot." I'll come back.
All right.
We have collision. And why do they have to go so fast through the asteroid field? I don't understand. Flying through.
I know. The faster we go, the safer it is.
Yes. But there's a problem, and Burnham ends up saving Pike's life.
Yes. Well, not before we lose this guy who I knew.
Yes.
Basically, from the moment he beamed on, oh, buddy, enjoy this. Oh, enjoy this, Geordi.
You're young.
Yeah, because you beam on, you're a jackass, and you're yelling at the star of the show, and you've got her job. This is not good. And
you're not Spock that we were expecting.
And here's the thing too: is that Pike is like, we don't leave anyone behind, and then your science officer gets whacked, and you guys don't even hold a ceremony for him. I mean, like afterwards, like no one lays like a United Federation of Planets flag on a empty casket and shoots out in space. They're just like, well, what are we gonna do now? Ha ha! Well, we could mourn the death of this guy you've probably been on the ship with for a while, but it's up to you.
That's what they're doing back in the Enterprise. They'll take it.
That's right. We need to get a message out to number one. This guy, what was his name like?
Connolly?
Connolly, yeah. Sean Connolly or something like that, or Sean Connolly.
Sean Connolly. Yes. Well, then later on, or very soon after that, we meet Jet Reno, not Janet Reno.
Janet Reno. I know.
Jet Reno.
Jet Reno. Sort of sounds like an anime character,
Yes.
Like he should be like it should be someone who's like chewing on a like a blade of grass with a long hat over his head, and he's like, "Who are you?" "My name is Jet Reno." Actually, that's an Avatar character now that I think of it. The character named Jet. Who was just like that, so that's why I'm thinking about it.
So, Tig Notaro, of course.
Tig Notaro, who I know briefly.
So how do you know her again?
She, I'm sorry, I'm walking away from
You sound 10 feet away.
I have to get the power. I'm down to 9% power here.
Oh, that's right. Because Mike does not believe in plugging in his laptop when he does it.
No,
I likes to wing it.
I like to wing it. I like to go to, overdrive here, manual. All right, here we go. Tig is a friend of Sarah Silverman, who used to do Channel 101 stuff, and I sat next to her during one of the Channy Awards, I think, one year for like 2 hours, and it was fun. She's really funny, really nice, good for her. She adds, so we got Stamets, who I guess was the engineer, and now we've got an actual engineer who we're going to put her in, and she also fixes people, so why not?
What do you think? He's going to leave and be replaced by her? Does she eventually join their crew? Do you know?
I think she will. It was announced that she's going to be joining the show, so I don't know why. Her intro. This episode was to tease Spock, intro Pike, and probably Tig, and move Stamets kind of to a different place. Because if they're not going to use the Mycelium Network, because I think they're still kind of reeling from that whole lawsuit against them from the video game guy.
Oh,
all the weird similarities with tardigrades, and just to be honest, I don't think anyone was super thrilled with this whole Mycelium Network thing. So let's just use warp speed, which is cool, and we'll see. But so they find her.
And she thinks the Klingon War is still going on because she's been there 10 months, 11 days.
Yes.
Engineer, not a surgeon.
Yeah. But she saved all those people. like this is just it's such a weird. This whole set piece is so odd. It's exciting, but it's weird. It's like what is going on here? So you go to the red thing, and then there's a ship there which has nothing to do with anything. And they go there and they get they save everybody except for Michael Burnham, who then sees the Red Angel, but it's actually Pike saving her. I mean, there's just all this It's a lot of effort for a little bit of a payoff.
That's where you discover that she can't. She tries to grab that rock, but it doesn't beam with her. So it has some special properties.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing. So they have to go get a rock. Get this big rock, and I don't understand what's going on with this rock either. Is this rock part of the Red Angel?
Yeah, I watched that scene in sickbay where she's having her broken leg repaired, and she and Tilly are discussing how that rock she picked up is not comprised of baryonic matter. What? And they were touching something impossible. What? It's a bridge to an unlimited, efficient energy source, a new branch of science. And they talk about dark matter, which I'm like, oh, okay. Now that sounds interesting. That gets my curiosity.
I guess they just would have said dark matter. That would have been okay too. But it's just so buried in all of this running around, which can be sometimes the problem when you have like okay, just go 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 go. Is that you can't stop and actually figure out what the hell's going on. This whole section here is a little baffling. They come here for one reason. They go get a rock. They get Tig Notaro. It's like, well, we came for one thing. We've got a bunch of other cool stuff here, I guess. This should load up our season pretty well.
Yeah, laying the groundwork for all these crazy storylines coming up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just, just kind of putting everything into place.
Pike returns command to Saru since he has completed this special mission after they capture the asteroid.
It seems like a weird, it's interesting, but it's like if you're in command, it should be from the moment I take over until the moment I get into safe space, Yeah,
that's kind of surprising, but
because there's still all those crazy asteroids flying around, and you don't just be like, man, it's really snowy here as I'm driving, but this is your car, so I'm letting go of the wheel. No, whoa. I just built those tires. Come on, man.
Well, you always wanted to see Saru be the captain, didn't you?
I did. I think out of all of Who Wants to Be the Captain reality series last year, he was the best. And honestly, if they didn't have Pike, which I think is a pretty good safe idea, Saru would have been a great captain for the season as well. He is measured. Mm-hmm. He does follow things by the book. He does have some level of doubt, and it'd be interesting to watch him grow into it as he tried every once in a while. When he was captain sometimes, and then evil Giorgio was captain for a while, and you're like, what the hell? Jesus, come on. Jesus.
Well, now he's sort of co-captain?
I don't even
quite
understand.
Get that relationship.
This is when they need the double seats from the Orville, where there's two command seats right next to each other. Wait, who's the captain? Who am I talking to? Well, who's that next to you? Don't worry about it. It's my ex-wife. What? What is this?
But Pike is in Lorca's old ready room, finding that fortune cookie, which I didn't get your Facebook post until I watched this today. You found a fortune cookie fortune on the floor, too.
I did. I was like, ooh, what does this say? You'll receive a promotion. Well, that's not very, it's very nebulous and ethereal, Pike's one. It's like.
But we see him in the blue uniform, no more yellow for now. Much to your dismay.
In the blue. Oh yeah, well yeah, he gets into that outfit. He finally kind of suits up in that, which is, I guess, it's fine. Hopefully they'll the Federation will be like, okay, everyone wear these outfits. These are super cool outfits.
Like how he comments on how stark the room is, nowhere to sit.
Yeah. And again, he's like, I'm going to clear all this out and put in some chairs. It's like, man, you are just everything that is wrong with the first season. You are dealing with,
yes.
Except for Stamets. Stamets he deals with one issue, which doesn't actually take when he's leaving, or he's telling Tilly he's leaving, and he's like, let me give you a piece of advice. You talk a lot. Talk less. You know.
Yes.
And I was like, yes.
Yes.
Oh. And then she
Stop
talks a lot more.
making jokes. Yeah.
I,
Yes. Needs a new ready room. Eventually we'll have an aquarium in it, maybe. Need some carpet in here.
where Crazy Riker will pat at the fishbowl when he's on Neanderthal.
Yes.
You know, Kiernan told me that was actually Jonathan Frakes' stunt double, or his stand-in. Yes.
Really?
And when you look at it, you're like, oh my God, it is. They just like, I'm sure they're like, Jonathan Frakes was like, sorry. Well, I guess we could get your stand-in. Good, go do that. I'm gonna
You'll walk out crooked.
Sounds good. Walks away.
We have our Spock discussion then, where Michael and Pike. She says she still wants to go to the Enterprise and still see him, and we learn that he's not there. He's taken off somewhere.
Took a bunch of sick leave, which is kind of like, okay.
So Pike mentions their 5-year mission. Which I was like, how does that fit in the timeline? Said it took a toll on my crew. Spock and me too.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I guess the question is this before or after the cage? I mean, it must be before, I would think. But Spock is he's still like a lieutenant at this. He's like, he's not, I mean, number one is number one. So like his affinity to Spock is like, well, he's one of my crew, you know, he's one of my bridge crew. And, you know, but, yeah, it's interesting. The cage is interesting too, because when we meet up with Pike, then he's really tired. He really, and maybe it's one of the reasons why they went for a second pilot is because he shows up worn down, and then the cage sort of charges his batteries a little bit, but he's still kind of this kind of wistful, I wish I could go back and ride my horse kind of guy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But here he still has some energy, so it must be, he still has some years to go. I did read that the accident is not going to happen while he's on Discovery, where he's going to get in the chair
and become a different guy.
Was
that a different guy? It was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It was.
Okay.
It was another stunt double, because obviously Jeffrey Hunter's not going to. Hey Jeffrey, you have an offer to go sit in a chair with a bunch of makeup on your face for like 6 days and push a button that lights up a light. How do you feel about that?
No script. It's really easy.
No script. This is the show you walked away from, by the way. So it's a guest star. I managed to get that for you. So
push a button.
Jeffrey, you're not pushing the button enough. Can you please push the button twice? Thank you. We should recast him.
Michael says that they were too far away to help in the Klingon War. So he's upset that he missed out on the war, apparently.
It's a weird... I mean, first of all, the Klingon War lasted less than 10 months. So this whole, it was almost like a skirmish. It was almost like the Klingon skirmish. Like, I don't know how long a war can last. I guess this is like the 6-day war and stuff.
It went on for a while. I don't know. Was it 10 months?
Well, it was less than 10 months because, I mean, maybe it was longer than 10 months, but I mean, certainly it was less than a year.
What's her name didn't know it had ended.
Yeah. So because, I mean, they went, and when they came back, I know it was less than 10 months. Maybe it was a year. I don't know. But it wasn't one of those long, drag-out kind of things. Like the Dominion War in Deep Space Nine was a few years, where it was like, oh gosh, this is really going on.
So they were out on their 5-year mission at the Outer Rim. I don't know where they were.
Yeah, it is kind of weird where it's like this state-of-the-art battleship. It's like, no, you guys, just stay out there. I think we got it. I think we got this. Don't come back. Like,
Michael refers to, and the Enterprise was a last resort. I'm like, huh? What's that? Would that have worked?
are they that good of a ship? I mean, just
No, they're all impressed
Yeah,
by
we
the
c-
Discovery's technology.
I know, I know. It is another one of those kind of, we just got to make this work. Just, hey guys, just listen to what we're gonna say. We probably shouldn't even have this scene, but we're trying to close the gaps on this.
They're eating the colored cubes on Enterprise.
Yeah. No
Wait a minute,
regular
they
food
have
for
ice cream
us.
sundaes over here. Damn it!
How did you guys get real food? Oh, God, man, you've been eating cubes all day.
The, the other discussion about how brilliant Spock is. I guess we're going to see him next week, I assume.
I presume so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And that's when Michael decides, well, I'm going to head on over and go right into his private quarters and look at all his stuff.
I know it is a weird kind of, I'd still like to go to his room. I'd still like to go inside his room and go through his stuff. I think that's fair. Oh yeah, okay, this is pretty good. Why don't you go in
I
there?
thought she'd like just walk in and look around, but personal log, beep, play.
I,
Jeez.
if I don't make it, then I've encoded in this voice message. Why don't you just leave like a very overt message? Don't make it a riddle. It's like
Why do you have to make it hard?
this isn't a secret treasure. I mean, like this isn't like if I get the treasure, I'll never have to work at Starfleet again. Like, no. This is, you're trying to save the universe. Don't hide it. In some audio playback in your room, which is
Scavenger
locked until your sister shows up.
It's escape room. He lives in an escape room.
Hi, yeah, you guys didn't find the message in an hour. I'm so sorry, but here, if you could pose these things, you still had a great time, right? Okay, tell your friends. I didn't make it out of Spock's room. Oh well.
Oh, but he has this personal log. As a child, I had nightmares. My mother taught me to control fear by drawing, which explains, I guess, the opening scene where he freaks everyone out with the serpent. But he says the nightmares have returned, and he's having the same vision again and again. And he now understands the meaning and where it will lead him. In the event of my death, you will have to crack this combination lock, find a key, and get a magnet to pull it out of a bottle. Put this gorilla mask on and read this Sudoku. This may be my last entry. Beep.
I have figured out what's going on with the Red Angel. I'm going to try and figure it out on my own, but in this audio log, I will not tell you my findings. As a scientist, it is always important to keep things to yourself.
No one on this ship can help me in any way. I will sign out and use my accumulated vacation time.
I need to speak with HR about this. But,
I have put in a request.
Put in a request. I may lose a few days because I'm taking them all at once, but I am contesting that. And
I have put in many hours over holidays and weekends. I believe
why
I
are you
am
talking
entitled.
about all of this instead of the Red Devil or the Red Angel? What the hell, man? Just tell us what you found, Spock. Don't leave a treasure map.
Please don't touch my stuff. Thank you.
If my sister shows up, please do not have her go through my stuff. Don't have her ring those bells. She loves ringing the bells.
I have them just the way I like them. Please do not touch them.
I mean, T'Pring gave them to me. They're kind of important, all right, on our wedding day.
Did you like the design of Spock's quarters? I noticed kind of hints of the original series, like that kind of room divider sort of thing. Like, oh, that looks kind of cool.
It's again, it is as I mean, the Enterprise obviously is going to look different. They've already hinted at that with just the door in his room, but
And that sound effect of beep, beep, beep.
yeah, I mean that's closer to Next Generation kind of stuff. Well, even the control panel on it, where it's just where you like. I guess she got the access code, but she just pushed the button that says open, and the door opens. So I guess no code on that. I have hidden the files in this audio recording. However, I left my door open. So a grievous oversight on my part.
He recorded it and then left with the door open.
I remember to encrypt the door. I don't know. God, I didn't even lock it. Damn it. Oh.
Oh, am I still recording? Oh, damn it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe. Smack out. He's doing a podcast. Hey, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7 Red Angel blobs. I'm your host, Mr. Spock.
We gotta give a shout out to our advertiser real quick.
Brought to you by Shantix and
Ridiculous. But Michael uses the thing to swipe those images up into the air and see that the 7 energy sources. I'm not sure. What did it show us exactly? Their location?
I don't. I think it basically showed him that he saw the same thing that had just happened. So he knew that this was coming and decided to tell no one. I guess if he knew it was coming, why didn't he tell the Enterprise? Hey, don't scan that. I guess I don't understand what happened there.
I thought they knew. That was at the beginning of the episode. They had the location of the one that they went to, but the other 6 they didn't have coordinates for. But it looked like he had recorded images of them. I think that might be where we're going.
But it had to be before that happened because it disabled the Enterprise. And if it didn't, then why would hey, we've discovered these 7 big red blob beacons. And you're leaving now? I am going to go on a shuttlecraft and go away. We actually kind of need you. This is exactly what we need you for. You're the science officer. This is science. Please figure this out for us. I've talked with Becky at HR, and she's approved it. You can't do anything about this, Christopher. Wow, Spock. I can't stop you, but I also can't agree with it.
It's the timing the best right now.
It feels like you want to get off the ship. I mean, it feels like you're kind of scared about this stuff.
Well, I hope whatever reason it is that we find out later on, it better be worth it that he did not go with Pike on this trip. Just because he's mad at Michael about something.
I don't know. Obviously they're going to find him in the next couple of episodes. Well, it looks like the next episode. Don't they see him? Yeah, he goes crazy and he's writing stuff on floors and walls in an insane asylum, which is.
Oh, I thought that was coming up this whole season. I'm not sure if that was next week.
Maybe, I don't know. But at some point in time, he's going to go crazy and write stuff on floors and walls, which is what everyone does. Everyone
like Crystal Skull.
Like Crystal Skull, like The Expanse.
The Shining.
The Shining. Deep Space Nine, Cisco did it. Everyone does it, Is there no one there who's like, hey, please don't write on those walls. I have to clean them, okay?
You
that
have
is a Sharpie.
Paper.
I got paper.
Why did we give him a Sharpie?
At least in that Enterprise episode we were watching with Dr. Song, he wrote on pieces of paper and set down on his wall. He had thousands of sheets of paper. They gave him paper. Thank you.
I think I may have been thinking of the Simpsons parody of The Shining. Not The Shining itself.
Oh, right, where he writes it all over. Oh, yeah, I was like,
makes Homer go crazy.
Yeah. All work and no beer make Homer something. Go crazy? Don't mind if I do.
Oh, excellent.
All right, so we have done a deep dive into that episode, which I enjoyed. I again, as we talked about it a little bit, that this season on Star Trek Discovery, there's a lot of red beacons, a lot of red angels there, which worry me. Giorgio's back in Section 31. Which I guess we should mention is also now going to become a series, the series that no one asked for. What if Mirror Universe Giorgio was suddenly in charge of Section 31, which people have mixed feelings about? Would you watch it? Yes or no? Click this box quickly.
Hmm.
Someone told me that they're actually positioning that for China. That like they're trying to hit the
Oh,
Chinese audience with that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess. I mean,
interesting.
I don't know why. I mean, but we'll
Sorry,
see.
remind me again of which series are happening. I get so confused. So, a Picard series,
So there's the Picard series,
Giorgio,
Giorgio, the Section 31, whatever that is, and Lower Decks, the animated series. So there's still possibly a
and
couple of.
that animated series is like aimed at young adults. It's not like kid stuff, right?
No, it's aimed at like it's like a Rick and Morty kind of crowd because it's
Okay,
written by one of Rick and Morty writers. They're
right.
still thinking about doing a couple of animated series for younger audiences. I went and almost pitched on that. Um, but I don't know if they will. I have a feeling. So my fear, well, not my fear. I guess my curiosity on this is that will this season be enough to capture enough eyeballs to get it back to CBS All Access, and sort of be the justification for all of these shows. I mean,
Be enough to get it back to CBS Access? What do you mean?
well, no, I'm saying like so in order to watch this show, you have to get CBS All Access. I mean, or if
Yeah.
you're in different countries, you can watch it on Netflix for free, or I mean, for that subscription model. But is this going to be enough to pull people back? To get people to say, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and subscribe and I'll watch, the next, 3 months of CBS All Access to watch this show.
Hmm.
And then based on that, I'll go ahead and watch Section 31 and Lower Decks
I
and all
don't
that sort
know.
of stuff.
Those other shows supposed to be on what channels? CBS?
CBS All Access. They're all
All
going
of
to be on
them.
All Access, I
Oh,
believe. Yeah.
okay. Mm.
So, I mean, I think they're trying to get like all Star Trek all the time. So all year round, you've got Star Trek.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, is it too much of a good thing? I don't know. I mean, like they were kind of like, oh, we've learned our lesson by having shows that are similar. Like they said when Deep Space Nine and Voyager were on, it was too much of the same thing. Which like those shows are pretty different actually. But maybe they're going to try and diversify it. I was actually just reading this thing about the Star Wars franchise is actually not doing very well. Jason.
how so?
Well, they were talking about how 2017 Rogue One actually did better box office and ancillary, marketing or ancillary product wise than 2018 The Last Jedi, Solo, and I think there was one other like the Clone Wars series, something like that. Like they had like three different kind of features for Star Wars this past year, and didn't do as well as 2017 when they had one. They just had like Rogue One out. So they're actually pulling back. They're not going to do the Boba Fett movie. They're not going to do the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. They're starting to pull back on it and saying maybe we've got too much of a good thing here. And the Rian Johnson trilogy, after they pulled him from the ninth movie, they said, nice job on The Last Jedi. Why don't we let JJ do it? But we're going to give you your own trilogy in another part of the galaxy, really, really far away from all this stuff. And that appears to be dead. So I just
it's-
wonder.
Possible to have too much of a good thing, or a lot of not that great thing.
Well, it's I don't know. I mean, we're also in such peak TV now. It's hard to. I mean, even with Game of Thrones, it's like, well, I mean, I'm not counting down the days for Game of Thrones. I mean, like, I'm very excited about it.
I am.
I know you are, but I mean, but there are so many other things that we're looking forward to. I mean, we got Discovery and Orville's on, and then after Game of Thrones, we'll have The Expanse season 4, and I mean, see, there's so much. It's not. Oh, I've got a year to wait for this show, and there's nothing else on.
There's three channels.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like I wonder what's on ABC. Oh, it's that. I mean, Sarah and I we've plowed through so many movies and so many. We're watching Killing Eve right now and Escape from Denimora or whatever it is. I mean, and they're all great. They're all fabulous shows. They're not necessarily sci-fi, but there's so much good television on that it's really easy to let a show like Star Trek on CBS All Access just slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
It's not something people are like, oh, we have to get that. It's something people say.
There's so much else to watch. I've got so much on my list. Things I need to
Yeah,
watch.
so do I. There's just every day. It's like, oh, now I gotta watch that. That looks good too. But we'll see. We'll see. But this episode has definitely kind of engendered me to check
Yeah,
out.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the next episode.
I know.
Like, this feels so weird.
We were so miserable
Yes.
for like 15 podcasts. Kim. Like
Did they just
15
break our
this-
spirit? Was that their plan all along? They just worn us down.
Maybe it was.
They're like, fine, you can do this now. Now you have 3D everything.
I know. Maybe that was like they just lowered our standards so
Yes.
much that it's like we don't really realize they've actually.
That's it. Damn it.
We actually watch it with fresh eyes. Like maybe like my wife will be like, "This is actually a puppet show. Do you know that? This is just a puppet show." No, it's Star Trek, and there's lots of CGI. No, it's a puppet show, Mike. What are you saying? Like
Whopper.
it's Whopper. Oh, it's like Geordi when they reconditioned him with the Romulans when they captured him, and they
Oh, yes.
he's like, "But I saw it. It was there. I was at the conference." You know?
Yes.
I know, Geordi, this is difficult. Go through it again. When the Romulan ship showed up, well, I put on my shields and... Whoa. It'll take time, but we'll get through this.
Yes.
I'm really into accents today. I'm really into it. Bad Star Trek accents.
More sound effects, more accents.
Well, you're all over the weird stick shift girls sound effects, so I get to have accents.
Hello, Mike. It's super loud.
I'm gonna try and find that and put it on the front or the end of the podcast today.
Yes.
All right, we should close this off. This has been a nice long one, a good one. You guys have deserved this. 2019 is going to be awesome, and you're going to be a part of that awesomeness.
He's been
yes.
rejuvenated.
I have. 2018 was garbage.
50
was
came
garbage.
and went.
What's that?
50 came and went, and you're fine with it.
Yes. Well, I'm not that fine with it, but I'm okay with it. I'm moving forward.
Survived.
No stopping us.
Looking forward to his AARP membership. His discounts at Denny's.
Stop that. Just don't even try
Discount.
to bear me with that. Well, that is true. I wouldn't mind the discounts. You know, moon over my hammy is really a good sandwich. It's really, it's so cheesy and eggy, and it's got the ham in it. And
See?
they butter that bread. Well, I mean, you can have it. Like, you don't have to be a senior to get it. I mean, it's not. I wish there was certain foods. It's like, sorry, seniors only. Like, ooh,
Yeah, like a
all
kids
right.
menu. Seniors only menu.
Yeah, I'll take the chicken nuggets.
The oatmeal, not too spicy.
Oatmeal and the red wine. That's all I want. We should drink. I was trying to get coerce Jason to do this podcast with some Red Angel wine. That's what we need now.
Oh, is that an actual brand?
No, but I think that's what we should. We should drink some red wine and just call it Red Angel wine.
No. I'll be up tomorrow.
You're not coming out tomorrow, are you?
I could.
You could.
Actually, I'm going to be a foolish extra on a commercial on Monday down here. So
What? What is this?
I don't know. I just agreed to it. Get double pay though because it's a holiday.
Oh, okay. Is it? What
It's a side
is it
commercial.
like oh, it is a side commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Completely unrelated
You
to
should
Star
get like. No, I don't know. That's, and don't you get like what is it, like $350 to be an extra?
Yeah. But Monday
you're
I'll
gonna
get
get
7
double that?
something. Yes.
Oh my God, Kim, that's great! Congratulations.
Worth it. Worth it. It'll be for MasterCard. I think it might air during PGA something or other. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll be a blur in the background
congratulations.
doing the
Yeah.
live long and prosper.
Well, I mean, make sure you watch the commercial, and if they see, if recognize you, you do get bumped up to principal. So
Oh, gotta
just,
pay for my cat's vet bills. My famous
I
cat
know.
that barfed during the podcast. He had some expensive vet bills over New Year's.
poor Ollie. Yes.
Poor Ollie. He's okay now.
We're all, Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. It's rough stuff. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to that last little bit there.
Keep a close eye on your pets.
Yes. Watch your pets. And if you ever get a chance to do a side commercial during a holiday, do it. I mean, it's $700 in your pocket burning away there. That's some CBS All Access subscription right there, my friend. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing or doing whatever you're doing.
1:30.
I'm Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
I knew you were going to do that. I just want to talk about
Star Trek.
Oh, that'll be interesting.